Hey Bay Area, this is your friendly reminder that San Francisco's most incredible national park site might be hiding in plain sight. I'm talking about the Presidio and its 1,500 acres of trails, forests, and beaches. Whether you're soaking up unbeatable views of the Golden Gate Bridge at the brand new Outpost Meadow picnic area or grabbing lunch from a Presidio pop-up food truck, the Presidio's got something for everyone. It's one park with endless possibilities. So what are you waiting for? Plan your visit at presidio.gov.
Hey guys, Brad Gilmore here. Want to give a big shout out to our title sponsor, Walker Texas Lawyer. If you or a loved one have been injured in an accident, whether that be a car, truck, motorcycle accident, or some kind of other issue, hit up Walker Texas Lawyer at 713-552-1117 or walkertexaslawyer.com.
Oh, Brad, what have you done now?
Broadcasting live from Houston, Texas, and around the world. TV host, best-selling author, and radio personality Brad Gilmore brings you a collection of conversations with stars from movies.
Matthew McConaughey.
Brad Gilmore.
Mark Wahlberg.
Hey, how are you?
The legendary Mr. Christopher Lloyd. Christopher, how we doing?
I'm doing good. Very interesting.
Jessica Alba and Lizzie Mathis. Ladies, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Kevin Costner joins us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Television.
Jimmy Fallon joins us this morning. Jimmy, how you doing, my friend?
Good morning. Thank you so much, Brad, for having me. I appreciate this, bud.
Kelly Ripa.
Brad, thank you for having me.
Comedy.
Jay Leno joins us. Jay, how you doing?
Hey, Brad, what's going on?
Chris Tucker is in the building. Chris Tucker, good morning to you.
Hey, Brad. Good morning to you. How are you?
George Lopez joins us right now. George, how are you doing, sir?
Good morning.
Music.
Lola Monroe.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
The legendary frontman of AC/DC, Brian Johnson, joins us right now. Brian, how you doing?
Good morning, Brad. What lucky to talk to me, funny lad.
Megan Trainor.
Thank you so much, Brad. You're awesome.
Chloe Bailey joins us. I appreciate the time.
Appreciate you.
And more. This is The Collection. Now your host, The Boat.
Brad Gilmore!
Joining me right now, this man is a legend. I've watched so much of the work that he's done over the years. A big fan of him. I had the privilege of meeting him one time before, and I said, you know what? Maybe we can have a conversation. He is Mr. Barry W. Blaustein, excuse me. Barry, how are you, sir?
I'm doing fine.
Look, first of all, congratulations just on an incredible career that you've had. I don't know if you sit and reflect and look at everything you've been able to accomplish, but it is quite the career, wouldn't you say?
It's been an interesting career, very fulfilling.
Yeah, you've been able to do, so much in your life of, again, working with Eddie Murphy, working on Saturday Night Live. Obviously, I became a fan through Beyond the Mat, which is a documentary that continues to always find a new audience. That project in particular must stand out to you a lot because so many people still talk about Beyond the Mat.
I'm asked about that movie more than any other movies I've written.
And why do you think that is?
It's because it's kind of timeless. It's emotionally at its core. It's about fathers and their children. If you look at it that way, and it's presenting, putting a light on something that people didn't know about.
Well, your documentary was the first one that made people go, whoa, there's way more to this wrestling thing than I thought. It's more than a show. These guys, and girls for that matter, are putting their bodies through all kinds of hell, and their personal life suffers for it. I think that one of the highlights from the documentary was, of course, the story of Jake the Snake and his daughter and all the things that he went through.
Right. That was harrowing. I filmed that early in the process of making the film. And I came back and I said, we have a movie here.
That was when you knew?
Yeah.
Now, also, when you put together a documentary, so much of it comes in the edit. You start filming you write it out, you kind of put out what you want, but you can't predict what people are going to say or the moments that you're going to capture. Now, I don't know if you know this, perhaps you do, but in wrestling circles, there is one particular scene from Beyond the Mat that is probably quoted in more wrestling locker rooms since the movie came out over the last 20 years than anything, and that is when Dennis Stamp said, "I'm not booked, Terry." That is one of the most quoted lines from the film in wrestling locker rooms. I don't know if you knew you had gold when that happened, but do you remember just kind of filming with Dennis Stamp and Terry that day?
I remember it very well because Dennis Stamp was always complaining about, oh, everything's Terry Funk, Terry Funk, Terry Funk. And I said, you wouldn't be in this movie without Terry Funk. And then I say, then when he's talking about not being on the show, you haven't, I'm not on the show, you haven't booked me. Now that, and Terry was being so nice and instead of telling him to screw off. And then he came back after about 2 hours and said, I'll be on the card. You know,
As the ref, right? But that's those are the moments that I think as a documentarian you look for, like that because that was a pure gold moment.
yeah, that was something I wasn't expecting.
And those are the best parts about documentaries when you can capture something like that.
Sure.
And they come in together in the edit. So why do you feel that you said that one's asked more than any other film? I'm sure a follow-up question most people ask you is, so what do you think of Vince? What was your feeling of Vince McMahon?
Complicated feelings. I'm grateful that he let me come in there and gave me pretty much carte blanche to film. But I saw him turn into his character. I mean, a lot of these guys have the same problem. They're characters for 15 minutes a day, and they feel in control of the world when they're wrestling. And then the rest of their time is spent, excuse me, I just got a notice.
Oh,
They spend the rest of their time not knowing who they are. And so they become their characters. And then Vince became, I saw him son becoming Mr. McMahon.
yeah, he did. And you
And
see it with guys like Hulk or Scott Hall. In some ways, they kind of morph into who they portray on television.
yeah,
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. But also other than wrestling, your work on SNL and with Eddie Murphy, you were a part of so many of these iconic films, Coming to America, Nutty Professor, of course, Boomerang. You got to work with Eddie again on Coming the Number to America.
right.
Why did y'all have that connectivity? What was it about you and Eddie that just bonded so well together?
Well, I had a writing partner named David Sheffield. He should
Right.
get the credit too. But what happened on Saturday Night Live, Eddie wasn't a cast member. He was like a featured player. And the cast wasn't setting the world on fire. And we said, let's try Eddie, was this shy kid just out of high school, 2 months out of high school. And we just bonded together over humor. And I grew up about 15 miles from where he grew up. He used to come to my neighborhood to steal bicycles. So,
And that's Long Island, right? Was that Long Island area?
yeah.
Yeah. And so y'all had that kinship, but I don't know, just like when you're working with Landis and you're doing Coming to America and Eddie's there, you had to have seen him as just this generational performer. I mean, there was nobody cooler than Eddie Murphy in the 80s. He was the top of the mountain.
Yeah, it was amazing. I mean, Eddie, one day, I wish I saved the wall because the wall in my office, he filled it with his signature. So he was practicing his autograph. And then he talked about his career, how it was hit big. and then it'll wane a little, and then he'll make a comeback like Elvis. And he had a vision for himself, never lacked confidence.
Yeah, and it seemed like he knew he was destined, and even to plan that trajectory is kind of, clairvoyant in some ways. He did have an Elvis thing. Did y'all ever talk about Elvis, you and Eddie? Because he was a big Elvis guy for a long time.
He had tickets to see Elvis right before his death.
Oh, I didn't know that. Were you going to go with him?
No, this was before Elvis died.
Yeah, this is 77, right, when Elvis passed. But what did y'all ever talk about what his fascination with Elvis was?
He just thought he was cool. And but he also saw the funny side of Elvis, of people loving Elvis. And but he was a true fan of Elvis.
Yeah, he was. I mean, I hear so many stories about that. How was he as a collaborator? Like when y'all were working on something, was he somebody, or were you somebody who like, no, this is the line, it's got to be the line? Would you have those comedic debates, or was it always trying to find the funny?
It's always trying to find the funny. And there are times when he wanted stuff in there that we would disagree with him on, and if sometimes he acquiesced, and sometimes he wanted it his way.
I can only imagine. So when y'all do coming ahead.
Coming to America was actually the first, for better or for worse, was the first draft of the screenplay.
What we saw in the final film was essentially draft number 1.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, okay, so that's a rarity. Normally these drafts go through 4, 5, 6, 10 revisions sometimes. Did y'all just feel like you nailed it on that one?
Yeah. Plus they wanted a movie for Eddie for the summer.
So you had to put some together. You didn't have a bunch of time to think about it.
We had 6 weeks.
6 weeks you did that screenplay?
Yeah.
And where did the concept come from of saying, okay, here's this prince, we're going to bring him into New York? Like
Eddie pitched it to us.
And did you see it immediately? Like, I see how we can make that funny?
Yeah.
And go ahead.
The Barbers were based on a character Eddie used to do with this high school friend of his, Clint Smith, around the office of Saturday Night Live. They were Barbers, but they were called the Love Brothers, and they were a bad singing group. They were pimps at one time, and they were always really funny. So it was easy to write those scenes.
Yeah, and I guess when you have a talent such as yourself and your writing partner and Eddie, who's so quick on his feet. Were you there on set to where if a scene wasn't working, you could kind of go, hey, okay, we could change this line or do this?
We were there, but very little was changed.
Right. You kind of nailed it. Now, did you think, all movies are going to be this easy? We're just going to write one draft and it's always going to be this way?
It wasn't going to be that easy, but I wish it was.
It'd be a lot better. When you come back in 2021 and you work on coming to America and have kind of a reunion with Eddie, did it feel like back in that writer's room in '88, just doing that again?
Yeah.
Like nothing ever, no drop-offs, it felt exactly the same?
No, I have a relationship with Eddie where I see him mostly for when I'm working, but we'll not talk for like 3 years, and then we'll call me up, and then it's like we pick up the conversation where we left off.
It's an incredible relationship y'all have had in so many great movies. If I can go back to, and this might be a difficult question to answer, but if I could go back to Beyond the Mat again, when you think about professional, or do you still watch wrestling? Are you still a fan?
I still watch it.
So you're current on the product?
Yes.
So who stands out to you as, because when you saw Mick Foley and China and The Rock and Steve Austin and all those guys, who stands out to you on the roster today?
Seth Rollins.
And what about Seth?
There's just a control. He can shift between face and heel, and he just seems to be in control of his character and the way he moves. And his promos are very funny, and he knows the ridiculousness of it.
He understands what pro wrestling is. It's pomp and circumstance. It's over the top. It's turn it to 11. It's be a ham. It's all those things rolled into one. And he is great. He's great, really. I kind of prefer him as a heel. He's such a great heel.
Yeah, he's much better heel.
Much better heel. So if I were to ask Barry to do his all-time Rushmore of pro wrestlers, like who are the four names that you feel? It doesn't have to be the four biggest names in the history of the business, just the four names that come to you as these are my favorites.
Well, I grew up watching Bruno Sammartino.
Of course.
So he would be one. I would have to put Hogan on there.
Sure.
And Ric Flair. And then, because this is a prejudiced statement, but I'm prejudiced for Mick Foley.
You know what? Mick is I think, and you cover it in the documentary, and since then, Mick Foley is a one of one in professional wrestling. There will never be another guy like him, never be somebody as innovative with his character, with his promo, and as smart of a gentleman as he is. He is, and that's what your doc showed me more than anything, is he, I mean, as crazy as the bumps were, he was so smart.
Yeah, he's incredibly smart. I met a professor from Syracuse University who taught Mick, and he's a professor for 30 years, said Mick was one of the two brightest students he ever had.
I believe it. And you can see it, and you can read it in his writing and everything that he's done since then, beyond the mat. And you were there for the most infamous parts of his career at that time, and to see though him today still thriving, still succeeding. There was one time where I think for one of the behind the scenes features, it was you, Mick, and Jesse Ventura sat and had a dinner or something, and a conversation. Jesse Ventura, to me, I feel doesn't get enough props for his run in professional wrestling and what he meant to the business, especially as a commentator. What is your take on Jesse Ventura? Do you feel like he gets his proper due?
No, I don't think he does at all, because he was the first heel announcer. And he set the tone for many more to come.
Yeah, he's absolutely an incredible talent, as is Mick, and as are you, Barry. I just want to thank you for taking time to chat with me a little bit today about Beyond the Mat. I'm Not Booked, Terry is in every locker room. I hope you know that. People say that every wrestling show I've ever been to. I'm Not Booked, Terry. It's a film for, as you said, all the reasons you said. It's just lasted the test of time, and I think people will always think about Beyond the Mat. There was never an idea to do a continuation of that, was there?
No.
No, you feel like you got it on the first try there.
Yeah, and wrestling fans are ripped off enough. I didn't want to be another person who ripped them off.
You know what? That's definitely true. But you didn't rip off the wrestling fans. You gave us a film that we love and that showed the business in a different light, and that brought in an audience. Beyond the Mat brought in a whole new audience of wrestling fans and gave people a new appreciation for a sport that really people looked at their nose down at.
Right. That's the big difference now.
Yeah, it's accepted.
It's coming on ESPN.
It doesn't get much bigger than that. The worldwide leader in sports is showing sports entertainment. I never thought that I would see the day, Barry.
Yeah, I never thought so, too.
Incredible. Well, sir, I genuinely appreciate the time that you spent with me today. You're an absolute legend and an icon. Thank you for all your work over the years, and thank you so much for taking the time with me today.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Barry. I really appreciate you. We'll talk down the road, my friend.
Looking forward to it.
Have a good one, Barry. Bye-bye.
You too.